So for the second week in a row, I'm left after a Bills game wondering to myself, how did that happen? How did they actually lose that game? And on this past Sunday, after their 27-23 loss to the Jets, I wish I could say I was more upset than I was. And I'll get on a couple of reasons to why I think that might be. One has nothing really to do with the draft pick, other than maybe keeping the Jets from getting the first one. I'm not, if you've followed my videos throughout the years, you know I'm not one to lose games on purpose or, for a better draft pick. I mean, I suppose in certain instances that makes sense. Like if Andrew Luck is there, I mean, there are exceptions, granted. This is not one of those years for me. I don't personally care that whether the Bills pick 9th or 5th or 11th. I don't know. It just doesn't really matter to me, considering how much of a crapshoot the draft can be. So it's not really based on that. This past Sunday, it was just more so just. It was the Jets, which sucks. It was Darnold versus Allen for the first time, and how unthreatened I felt the entire afternoon by the Jets. I mean, the Bills come out, get the ball, and go 73 yards to score a touchdown on the opening drive. Allen rushes for like 48 yards on the drive, and I'm just like, here we go again. Like, first of all, how does he do that? How does Josh Allen do that? Like, it's almost like the play is like an all verts or something, and it's just designed to get people down the field. And Josh Allen is very good, to his credit, is very good at like wiggling in between the tackles and the guards and whatnot, and finding that open space up the middle and just outrunning people and then sliding. So because that's another thing people keep talking about to me is, well, he takes too many hits. Like, he's going to get hurt. He needs to stop running. And what I say to that is, well, he's really only running, like, I don't know, about 8 times a game, which is more than a quarterback traditionally does, I agree. But he's not really taking the hits, is he? On the runs. He's taking the hits more when he stays in the pocket. And the pass protection is, good. I don't want to say good, but it's been okay. I think that John Miller and Jordan Mills have left more to be desired, and the starting centers are in there with Bodine, Groy is there, and Wyatt Teller's a rookie, and then Deion Dawkins would be the most reliable of the group, I would say. But those are the times he's taking the hits, like I said. Or on, like, they tried that, like, fumble Ruski play, which, whatever, and he gets clobbered on it. Like, out of nowhere. He doesn't even have the football, and they flagged it, rightfully, but, like, the guy is getting beat up when he's throwing the football. And he's finally starting to see some calls, which is good, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to stop taking the hits in the pocket and when he escapes, rolls out and whatnot. Because when he runs, he's done a very good job, I think, personally, of sliding and getting out of bounds and whatnot. But anyway, the Bills run down the field and go up 7-0, and the Jets come back and go 3-out, and Sam Darnold's out of the game suddenly. Even after the Bills fumble on the next drive, McCown goes in, and they're like, we don't want to throw the ball at all. They only go 3 yards in 3 plays after getting the ball in the 32. They throw they throw a pass, one stupid pass, and it's incomplete. So, and then they end up kicking the field goal. But then the Bills get the ball back and score a touchdown, and it's 14-3. And then after trading field goals, it's 17-6. And I'm like, going into the kickoff, I guess I should say, because they ended up returning the kickoff like 86 yards. I'm just like, it's 17-6. Like, I shouldn't say this with a Bills team. Obviously, it's 4-8, but like, I'm just thinking, like, we're good here. Like, the Jets are just so unthreatening. They return the kick 86 yards, and they end up getting a touchdown off that. It's 17-13. And Allen throws a pick on the next drive, right? Yes, he did throw a pick on the next drive to Johnson. And then the Jets get the ball back. Okay, this is further proving my point. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. trying to remember the sequence of events. And they get the ball to 45, and they go like 4 yards, and then they get like it's like 4th and 6 to 41, and they punt. And I'm just like, this is so Todd Bowles. Like, this guy is getting fired at the end of the year, and he won't go for it on 4th and 5 or 6 at the 41. They're 3-10 or whatever, or 3-9. They've lost like 8 games in a row. I'm just like, this is so Todd Bowles. The Bills ended up getting a field goal blocked at the end of the half. They could have went up 7. They did end up getting the field goal after the half, after the Jets fumbled the kickoff. And again, proving my point, like, we're good here. And then suddenly, it's like 20-20. And I know that's all it took, because the Bills never really, like, put the nail in the coffin or anything. They never really salted the game away. But I don't know. It just, I look back and I'm like, how did they lose that? Like, what did they allow? 170 passing yards, 78 rushing yards, 248 total. And most of those, 61 of those came on the last drive, and 85 came on the one touchdown drive, which was really the only bad defensive drive for them pretty much the entire game. Obviously, when you get to take the 23-20 lead, you hope your defense is going to salt it away for you. Trey White didn't really have a great game. He ended up getting beat by Robbie Anderson for that long pass that ended up setting up the touchdown. They had 4th and goal to 1, and it looked like they had the guy stopped almost, but he kind of bounced it outside a little bit off tackle and found his way in. So, I mean, that was disappointing, but ultimately, the Bills' defense, this accounts for sacks because this is total passing yards. The 170 passing yards the Bills allowed to the Jets is the most they've allowed since Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the only person to throw for more than 170 yards, including sacks, against the Bills since Aaron Rodgers in Week 4. That's insane. And the Bills have only given up more than 100 rushing yards. They gave up exactly 100 to Tennessee. More than 100 rushing yards twice since Week 4 against Green Bay. Yet somehow they're 3-6. And there's a multitude of reasons for that. You know, quarterback play, Allen being out, and Peterman and Anderson having to go in. But I think on Sunday, honestly, like my final thought about Sunday was really the special teams. And I think Danny Crossman might be in danger by the end of the season. It was just not good. The Bills' offense was... Granted, they had 3 turnovers, and two of the Allen interceptions were really inexcusable. Bottom line, just inexcusable. You can't do that. I don't know why sometimes when he goes to like throw it away, he throws it onto the field. Just throw it out of bounds. But I don't know if he's trying to play hero ball too much. Maybe draw a flag or something, or whatever he's trying to do. Those are just things I expect him to do. Throw the ball away. And I expect that those mistakes will become fewer and more far between. Back to the special teams, like the kick returns were terrible that they allowed. The punting game has been an issue all year. Like even returning punts, taking penalties on punt returns and kickoffs. Poyer got hit, I think it was Poyer. Maybe on like the kickoff toward the end of the game, they go up 23-20, and the guy returns the kick 22 yards to the 34, and they get hit with the illegal formation. So the Jets are starting at the 39. So like time isn't even really a factor at that point with 2.5 minutes left, and like I think that you're all aware. The Bills on offense had 11 drives on Sunday, and 7 of them ended in attempted points. Points are attempted points because a field goal got blocked. That's on the special teams. There was a missed field goal. That might have had something to do with Hauschka getting totally blindsided, which is total Bush League by the Jets, but these things happen all the time in the league. I just wish it wouldn't happen to your guys, I guess, especially your kicker. So I don't know if that is exactly something I want to put on special teams, but it was a special teams play. There's just plain and simple has to be improvement there. So the Bills are somehow 4-9. They had like the Dolphins game, the Jets game, like if you want to go all the way back to the Texans game, like They could very easily be 7-6 because, for the most part, four of their 4 wins, only one of them was really close to a loss. I guess would be Tennessee, and they pulled that one out. So that, I guess that could go either way. But they have 3 wins pretty comfortably in the bank, and then like 3 losses that could have been wins. Like, these are games that could go the other way next year. And I know I've been guilty of saying that. Like, all throughout the drought, I was guilty of saying, well, it's the type of game I think they can win next year. And you fall for it every year. But ideally, we'll see improvement across the roster. I don't want to just assume that is going to be a thing. Like, everyone's just like, oh, well, wait till next year when they have receivers and stuff. Like, why do you think that's going to happen? Why do you think that just automatically, like, they're going to have good players, like better players? That's not necessarily true. But I agree that is something that they will try to do. Anyway. 4-9 Bills against the 5-8 Lions. I know that you might have Josh Allen for fantasy or something, or Robert Foster even, or one of these defenses maybe. The game doesn't provide too much allure to obviously playoffs or anything, or to a casual football fan. But I'm excited. Bills are wearing all red, color rush. So that's fun, I suppose. I want to keep watching Josh. I want to keep watching Josh play. So, unfamiliar opponent this week, the Lions, who they beat the Cardinals last week. Other than that, they're 2-5 in their last 7 games. 4 of those 5 losses are by more than 1 score. They're a tough team to figure. Like, they killed New England in Week 3. They beat Green Bay, and then they lost. They got killed by the Jets, and they lost to the 49ers. Granted, they still had Garoppolo at the time. Just an overall weird team. They got good losses in there. 2 to the Bears, 1 to the Rams, obviously. But Matt Stafford, coming into the season, I looked at Matt Stafford as like the player. Like, if he has the longevity, this guy could end up being the all-time leading passer in NFL because he slings it everywhere. He's like thrown for 5,000 yards a couple times, I believe, and he's always throwing for 4,000. He might not get there this year. He's on the low end there. He's at like almost 3,200 yards, so he might get there with a couple of good days. But they're at Buffalo, who doesn't really give a lot of passing yards. They have Minnesota and Green Bay in the last 3 weeks, so he might not. But that's a team that's been riddled by injuries. The rookie Kerryon Johnson hasn't been there. Marvin Jones is now injured. Ziggy Ansah hurt again. So they've struggled. It's reflective in their stats. They are, let me see, where is it? Just had it. They are 24th on offense in total yards. They are 22nd passing the football, 23rd rushing the football. They are 12th on defense, 11th against the pass, 18th against the run. They're just real middle-of-the-road team for Matt Patricia in his first year. Kerryon Johnson, as I mentioned, did not practice earlier in the week. Don't know if he's going to be able to come back. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry when he does play. He's a threat receiving the football, too. Theo Riddick is the other back there receiving. It's a receiving threat. LeGarrette Blount would probably be in line to start, who's had a couple really good days against the Bills in his career. Kenny Golladay, the receiver, the top receiver. Other than that, I think Bruce Ellington might not even play. So, I would give the Bills the advantage. Granted, Stafford is one of the better quarterbacks they've faced in a while, I suppose. But I'm going to give the Bills defense the advantage at home. Detroit coming on the road, unfamiliar opponent. I think that does favor the Bills a little bit. Detroit's just kind of they're just a weird team. Like, they bought Snacks Harrison earlier in the year and then sold Golden Tate. Like, what are you doing here? I don't quite understand. They do have a couple of nice players, though. Quandre Diggs, I like. Glover Quinn, I like. Jared Davis, good linebacker. Darius Slay, of course. But I'm going to pick the Bills to win. I'm going to pick the Bills to beat the Lions 24-19. I think the Bills are favored again. 2nd week in a row. Only 2 times all year. But, guys, let me know how you're feeling. What would you think of the Jets game? Are you still optimistic about, Josh Allen and what prospects might be for the offseason and whatnot? We're going to end up having to talk about that eventually anyway. Anyway, guys, enjoy the game if you're going. Enjoy your weekend, and as always, above all else, go Bills.